In a world searching for the next big thing, for a hero to rise from the ashes, one story stands apart. It's not just a tale of technology, but a saga of resilience. Of a vision so powerful it refused to be extinguished even in the face of the mightiest adversaries. This is the story of a digital pioneer that dared to challenge the giants of the financial world, only to find itself locked in a battle for its very existence. It's a journey that tested the limits of endurance, a fight that would define not just its own future, but the future of an entire industry. This is the incredible, turbulent, and ultimately triumphant journey of XRP. It all began in 2012, a time when the digital world was still in its infancy. While others were focused on creating digital gold, a small group of innovators at what would become Ripple Labs had a different vision. They looked at the global financial system, a labyrinth of slow, expensive, outdated processes dominated by giants like Swift, and saw an opportunity for revolution. Their dream was not just to create a new form of money, but to build a new kind of plumbing for the entire world's financial system, a seamless, instantaneous internet of value. They envisioned a world where sending money across borders was as simple, fast, and cheap as sending an email. At the heart of this audacious plan was a new digital asset, XRP. Unlike Bitcoin, which is brought into the world through a process of digital mining, XRP was born all at once. 100 billion tokens were created from the very start, a finite supply designed for a specific purpose. A portion was distributed to the founders, but the vast majority was entrusted to Ripple, the company, with a mission to use this treasury to fund development, foster a global community, and incentivize the adoption of their groundbreaking technology. This was a different approach, one built not on decentralized anonymity, but on purpose-driven innovation. To power this vision, they created something truly unique, the XRP ledger. It didn't rely on the energy-intensive proof of work or the capital-heavy proof of stake. Instead, it used a novel consensus protocol, a democratic and incredibly efficient system that allowed transactions to be confirmed in just 3 to 5 seconds, for a cost that was barely a rounding error, mere fractions of a penny. This wasn't just an improvement, it was a quantum leap, a technology poised to make the old ways obsolete. With this powerful technology in hand, Ripple set its sights on the biggest players in the game, the world's banks and financial institutions. The XRP ledger wasn't built for retail speculation. It was engineered for industrial-strength performance. Their flagship solution, on-demand liquidity ODL, was a game-changer. It promised to free institutions from the costly and inefficient practice of pre-funding accounts in foreign currencies all over the world. With ODL, they could use XRP as a bridge asset, converting one currency to XRP and then to another currency in a matter of seconds, unlocking trillions of dollars in trapped capital. To prove their concept, Ripple began forging partnerships with major financial institutions across the globe, from America to Asia. These early collaborations were a testament to the power of their vision, showing the world that a better way to move money was not just possible, but already here. To ensure stability and build trust, Ripple made a bold commitment. They placed the majority of their XRP holdings into a cryptographically secured escrow, programming it to release only a small, predictable amount each month. This was a move designed to prevent market floods, control supply, and demonstrate a long-term commitment to the health of the ecosystem. For years, the journey was one of steady progress, of building, partnering, and proving that their technology could deliver on its promise. The future looked bright, and the financial world was taking notice. Then, in December 2020, the journey came to a screeching halt. The ground beneath them gave way. In a move that sent shockwaves through the entire crypto industry, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) filed a lawsuit against Ripple Labs and its top executives, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen. The accusation was devastating. The SEC alleged that XRP was not a currency or a commodity, but an unregistered security, and that its sale to the public over the years constituted an illegal offering. The news was a body blow. The market reacted with brutal swiftness. Panic selling ensued, and the price of XRP plummeted. The fallout was catastrophic, especially in the United States. Major American exchanges like Coinbase, once champions of the asset, were forced to delist XRP, effectively cutting it off from its home market. Liquidity dried up, and a dark cloud of regulatory uncertainty descended, threatening to suffocate the project entirely. For the vibrant and passionate community of XRP holders, known as the XRP Army, it was a moment of profound crisis. Their investment, their belief, their fight for a better financial future, it all hung in the balance, challenged by one of the most powerful regulators in the world. The dream of a new era in global payments was suddenly on life support, and the battle for survival had begun. For nearly 3 long years, Ripple and the XRP community endured a grueling legal war. It was a classic David versus Goliath story, a fight that pitted a single company and its supporters against the full weight of the U.S. government. The legal proceedings were complex and closely watched by the entire world, as the outcome held implications far beyond just XRP. It was a case that would set a precedent for how all digital assets would be viewed and regulated in the United States. The community held its breath, lawyers argued, and the future of American innovation in the crypto space hung precariously. Then, in July 2023, a verdict was delivered that would echo around the world. In a landmark ruling, Judge Annalisa Torres made a critical distinction. She ruled that Ripple's programmatic sales of XRP on public exchanges, the way most everyday people bought and sold the asset, did not constitute the sale of a security. It was a monumental victory. The court affirmed that the asset itself, XRP, was not inherently a security. However, the ruling was nuanced. The judge did find that Ripple's direct sales to institutional investors in the past did qualify as unregistered securities transactions. But for the broader market and the everyday holder, the core message was one of liberation. The cloud of uncertainty began to part. The decision was a massive vindication for Ripple and the XRP community, a release of pressure that had been building for years. American exchanges, feeling the legal ground shift beneath them, began relisting XRP, and liquidity came flooding back into the U.S. market. It was a turning point not just for XRP, but for the entire American crypto industry, offering a glimmer of hope and a potential pathway for regulatory clarity. With the weight of the lawsuit partially lifted, a new chapter began. While some legal and regulatory hurdles remained in the United States, Ripple and the XRP ledger developers shifted their focus back to their original mission, building the future of finance. The core development of the XRP ledger accelerated, with a renewed emphasis on expanding its capabilities. Work intensified on new features designed to make the ledger even more versatile, including native support for tokenized real-world assets and the integration of smart contract functionality through an EVM-compatible sidechain. This was about more than just payments. It was about transforming the XRPL into a comprehensive platform for a new generation of decentralized applications. Recognizing the more favorable regulatory landscapes abroad, Ripple doubled down on its global strategy. The company aggressively expanded its partnerships in regions like Asia, Latin America, and Europe, where governments and financial institutions were more eager to embrace the efficiency and innovation that Ripple's technology offered. The journey of XRP became a powerful symbol of resilience. It stands as a testament to how a digital asset, grounded in real-world utility and superior technology, can not only survive but thrive in the face of immense regulatory challenges. It's a story that proves that even after being knocked down, it's a powerful idea, backed by a relentless community and a commitment to innovation, can rise again, stronger and more determined than ever, to fulfill its promise of a better, faster, and more connected financial world for everyone.